The Frank Ski Show. There was an interview last night with Oprah Winfrey. She sat down with Meghan and Prince Harry for a primetime special. Oprah Winfrey did. The conversation was not messy, but rather an opportunity for the couple now living in L.A. To speak their truth. The truth just so happened to be eye-opening and jaw-dropping. There was especially damaging for Buckingham Palace, or AKA the firm, which she made an effort to clarify is separate from the royal family, and it basically protects, listen to this, DMV, the institution that Queen Elizabeth leads, painted as operating more as a machine to protect certain royals and not with very much compassion for what Meghan went through. From conversations had about how dark their children would be to finding out Harry was financially cut off, those were the biggest bombshells from the Prince and Duchess sit-down with Oprah Winfrey. I do want to tell everybody that it's very difficult to listen in parts, and I'm going to start off by saying this. Nina and I had a discussion this morning, and I said that I believed that Prince Harry could have done a better job preparing Meghan for what she was going to face when she became a member of the royal family. Nina made a very good point by saying it didn't matter because no matter what he prepared her for, they just weren't going to like her because she was black. And that was unfortunate. But I do want to begin to tell you all in a little bit of detail, you know, some of the things that happened to her. At one point, she revealed that things got so bad, Nina, that basically they would not let her go outside. Mm-hmm. They would not let her go outside. And she got so depressed that she wanted to kill herself.
Right.
So she asked for help from the palace. However, her going to treatment was allegedly, she was told it wouldn't be a good look for the palace. And that basically there was nothing that they could do. They wanted her to stay in the house. And the worst part about it is, ladies and gentlemen, they would not let her out, and she couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't leave the house. She couldn't drive. They had taken her passport, her driver's license, and her keys. And she was feeling pretty much trapped
like
in the house, like a prisoner. Right. Mm-hmm. Damn, that is crazy, Nina.
Okay.
That is crazy.
It's insane.
There is a clip of what she thought life should be like. This goes into what I was saying, that I don't think she was ready.
I've never looked up my husband online. I just didn't feel a need to, because everything that I needed to know, he was sharing with me, right? Or everything that we thought I needed to know, he was telling me.
So you didn't have a conversation with yourself or talking to your friends or thinking about what it's like, what it would be like to marry a prince who is Harry, who you had fallen in love with, and what it would mean to be a part of that family. You didn't give it a lot of thought?
No, we thought about what we thought it might be.
Yeah? Which is, that's what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't fully understand what the job was, right? What does it mean to be a working royal? What do you do? What does that mean? I knew that he and I were very aligned on all of our cause-driven work. That was part of our initial connection, and what we talked about in the beginning of our courtship.
She really wasn't ready. Harry never told her, and she thought that basically meeting the Queen of England indoors, not in front of other people, would be a very casual thing. Like, it wasn't going to be about all of this pomp and circumstance.
And then it turned out the Queen was finishing a church service there in Windsor. And so she was going to be at the house. And I remember Harry and I are in the car, and he says, okay, well, my grandmother's there, so you're going to meet her. I thought, oh, great. I loved my grandmother. I used to take care of my grandmother. This is great. He goes, right, do you know how to curtsy? What? I said, do you know how to curtsy? Now, I thought genuinely that was what happens outside.
Yeah.
I thought that was part of the fanfare. I didn't think that's what happens inside. And I said, but it's your grandmother. He goes, it's the Queen.
Wow.
And that was really the first moment that the penny dropped, that this wasn't, it was easy for me up until then
so
to
then
go.
Did you Google how to curtsy?
No, we were in the car.
Okay.
We were in the car for 5 minutes
How
from
does
arriving.
one curtsy? Yes.
That's on Harry. He should have done a better job. But I mean, even Michelle Obama, when she met the Queen, went in for the hug and was criticized for hugging the Queen of England. And that's Michelle Obama, who we know has all the class in the world. So I'm sure it's a very intimidating situation to be in front of a Queen of England, especially at her age, and not know like the royal protocol. Like, come on, that's. If Michelle Obama can make that mistake, honey, anyone can make that mistake. So that's on Harry.
I think, but that's what I was saying, Nina, that I really think he could have, because here's my thing. They had been dating for a while. It wasn't like they just all of a sudden got up and said, let's get married this weekend and do it and throw it in front of the world. So she had been around. And I just think I think she really didn't know. Like, she didn't know it was going to be that bad.
How do you prepare someone to be a prisoner in your own home?
You tell them.
How do you prepare to be a prisoner? There's nothing you can do to prepare someone that you're going to be a prisoner. They're going to take your passport. They're going to tell you you can't leave the house. She said she went out 2 times in 4 months or something crazy. How do you tell someone, you as a grown woman, like, you're not going to be able to go have lunch with your friends ever because it doesn't look good for the institution? You can't prepare someone mentally for that. You can teach someone how to curtsy. Okay, Harry, shame on you for not teaching your wife how to curtsy. You can't teach someone how to be a prisoner in their own home.
But what I'm saying is you can prepare them. You can tell them that listen, Harry grew up in that system all his life. So he knew what it was like. And I'm just saying, Harry, I don't know if he did a great job at telling her how much her life was going to change.
And Harry came from a mother who bucked the system her whole life. So to an extent, it's Harry. Harry has always been cut from a different cloth. Harry don't care. Trust and believe Harry don't care. Look, this is exactly why he married a black woman to begin with, had a black baby, having another black baby, and then left the royal family. Harry has never cared that much about the royal family. He cared more about his mom, and then after that, it was like something was missing in Harry the whole time. Harry don't care about that stuff.
I know he doesn't care, but what I'm saying is he cares about her. And when he cares about her, his job is to protect her. And it got bad enough for him to have to leave, obviously. But I'm just saying that he bears responsibility for putting her in that position in the beginning. They trying to go back to Queen Charlotte.
1744, bro.
You know?
They said we got that black woman out.
But you know, but here's the thing though. If you know, that's always been like this big debate whether or not she was black or not. And you know, historians, some say that yes, she had black in her. But that would mean that Harry and all of them would have black in them now. Because they're all descendants from her anyway. But I think that they wanted to, if that was the case, they wanted to definitely take that trait out. You know what I mean?
Don't we know from nowadays, even if you have some black in you, if you identify with white, then you know what I mean? You might as well not even have that black, because there's a lot of people who, have a lot more black in them than that, but they identify with white. They denounce their black side. And if that's the case, then you're not here for the cause.
I want to play a clip first about them telling her that Archie, the baby, would not be the prince, and the difference in treatment her child would have. This is a very difficult piece right here for any mother to listen to. This is the piece right here where basically Oprah is asking her to explain what she means that Harry and Meghan's child would not be equal to the other children in the family. Take a listen to this.
The great-grandson of the Queen is not going to he wasn't going to be a prince. How do they tell you that? And what reasons did they give? And then say, and so therefore you don't need protection.
There's no explanation. There's no version. I mean, that's the other piece of it.
Who tells you that?
I heard a lot of it through Harry, and then other parts of it through conversations with family members. And it was a decision that they felt was appropriate. And I thought, well...
Was him being called a prince Archie being called a prince, was that important to you?
If it meant he was going to be safe, then of course. All the grandeur surrounding this stuff is an attachment that I don't personally have, right? I've been a waitress, an actress, princess, a duchess. I've always just still been Meghan, right? So for me, I'm clear on who I am, independent of that stuff. And the most important title I will ever have is mom. I know that. But the idea of our son not being safe, and also the idea of the first member of color in this family not being titled in the same way that other grandchildren would be. You know, the other piece of that conversation is there's a convention, I don't know if it's George V or George VI convention, that when you're the grandchild of the monarch, so when Harry's dad becomes king, automatically Archie and our next baby would become prince or princess.
And he did not become a prince. So for everybody to understand, that would mean that their baby would not get protection and security. So you're a member of this royal family, like being the president, and you got the Secret Service security around you, but yet you and your baby would not get that level of security. Listen to this clip of Meghan being interviewed talking about the color of their child's skin. Listen.
Can you say to the world, you're not giving him a title, and we want to keep him safe, and that if he's not a prince, then it's not part of the tradition? Just tell people, and then they'll understand. But they wouldn't do that.
But you both obviously were aware that that had been a part of the tradition, and was there a specific reason why you didn't want to be a part of that tradition? I think many people interpreted that as you were both saying, we're going to do things our way, or we're going to do things in a different way. That's
not it at all. I mean, I think what was really hard, so picture now that you know what was going on behind the scenes, right? There was a lot of fear surrounding it. I was very scared of having to offer up our baby, knowing that they weren't going to be kept safe.
You certainly must have had some conversations with Harry about it and have your own suspicions as to why they didn't want to make Archie a prince. What are those thoughts? Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of his race? And I know that's a loaded question, but
I can give you an honest answer. In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
who is having that conversation with you? What?
So,
there is a conversation. Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
There's several conversations.
There's a
about
conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be,
potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh.
And there's no preparation for that. There is no preparation. And can I just say this, Frank? Especially on this Women's History Month, Women's History Day, never allow anyone to silence your voice. Never. And if they're mad because you're telling the truth, well, they should have treated you better. Okay? That is Meghan's story. And for the people who are like, well, now she's talking about it, that is her experience. And no one should ever try to silence her from her healing. If that's a part of her healing, then allow her to go through that.
What do you think that child's life is going to be like now?
I think it will be actually pretty solid because of who his parents are and the new baby being a baby girl. I think, what they went through and what they endured was so traumatizing, and for them to leave as a family, and for Harry to support his wife, and for his wife to be so solid in who she is, they know what it is. They're going to raise those children. Harry knows what kind of mom he had, what kind of woman he wanted to marry. That was not by mistake. That wasn't coincidental. They're going to raise those children to be solid, and I can't wait to see it.
All right, y'all. I'm sure there's going to be more to the story. Again, they did not get paid for the interview, Nina. They were, adamant saying they did not get paid. Oprah made $7 million for doing that interview. $7 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hope if they have some sort of nonprofit, Oprah will donate $6.5 million to it.
Amen for that. 96.3 WHUR, 49 years of sounding like Washington.